morning, everybody. We're here to talk about the information flow in web shops. So as the host said, that the customer experience doesn't actually end when the consumer presses the buy button. So, my name is Johannes Kumpukoski, and with me here is Tiina Rytkönen from DNA, who is a customer of ours. And let's go into the agenda because we have a lot of things to go through. So, the customer satisfaction or the customer experience actually demands a really fast information flow. And if there's any interruptions by the customer or by the technical issues, the customer satisfaction is not that good as it could be. And real-time information of payments reduces the typical payment-related problems that can occur during the checkout process or the payment process. Then we're going to take a look of the data of how consumers actually pay online in 2020, and then we're going to go to the case of DNA. Previously, the most important thing in web shops for the consumers was that they can check the prices and get the lowest price of the products that they want to buy. But now it's not the same anymore in 2020. The convenience is the most important thing, and the customer experience is related to that very heavily. What payment methods were used online in 2019? We asked consumers, what payment method have you used in the past 3 months? And they said that we still use online bank payments. The percentage had dropped a bit, 2%, and it has gone to the mobile pay and mobile payments even more. And especially mobile payments are really customer experience focused. It's really easy to buy, really fast, and very good for the consumers. And if we look at payments, you know the button in the web bank when you have made the payment, return to the web shop. And that's the point where the consumers can mess things up. They don't press the button or return to the web shop, they close their browser, and that causes problems. The uncertainty of the payment is one thing, and overall, the uncertainty of the purchase. So the consumer thinks that they have bought the thing, but they don't get a confirmation email, and that causes some issues in the web shop. They contact the customer service. Have you received my payment? Am I going to receive the products that I bought online? And it also causes some problems in the settlements. So the settlements can be delayed depending on what payment method the consumer uses. And of course, the inventory count is incorrect. So the consumer wants the product, but the inventory wasn't deducted at that point. So what is the real-time confirmation of payments? It is a process when the consumer messes up the payment process, but we actually send the information to the web shop that the purchase has been completed. And it's really important for the customer experience because it looks for the merchant as the payment would have gone through normally, and also for the consumer. So you send the order confirmation and you get the payment confirmation of the payment. And the benefits, of course, for the merchants is the better customer experience. Less contacts to the customer care about the payments, certainty of the customer that the payment actually went through because they get the order confirmation and the payment confirmation. And in some cases, of course, the customer can buy the product again online. So they think that the payment went through, but it actually didn't, and they make the purchase again, so then there's a double payment for the same purchase, which now is prevented. Sorry. And up-to-date inventory, of course, and quicker settlements, because we know that the consumer made the payment. Here's a chart that shows the payment methods that we use. And there's one line highlighted, which is the mobile pay. And that is the most trending payment method for the consumers at the moment. If you don't have the mobile pay in your web shop, you're not serving your customers as well as you could. Some payment methods have dropped, and here's our estimation for this year on the payment methods. This is done actually by a guy who we call in our company a wizard. He knows almost everything about our payment service. He can make data of history payments, and we have a competition in the company that how much do Finnish people buy online during Black Friday, for example, and he is almost spot on. So this is probably the best estimation of the distribution of payment methods. Mobile pay is going to increase up to 6%. There's, of course, guesses from other people as well. Myself, I think it's going to be 9%, and our CEO thinks it's going to be about 14% of all the payments. And the online bank payments share is going to drop a bit. Next up, I'm going to hand over the presentation to our customer, DNA, and they're going to tell more about the real-time payment notifications. Go ahead, Tina.
Thank you. Good morning, all. The previous slide was showing some increase of numbers to the mobile pay, and here is in the picture we have our new application, Oma DNA, where we have the mobile pay in use so that the customers can actually pay their invoices using different alternatives. And there we have mobile pay as one of the alternatives, and it's 11% of the customers who are actually now paying via mobile pay, so it's actually higher there. So today I will be speaking on a little bit different perspectives on the different kind of payments that we are handling, and before that, just quickly about DNA. So we are a number 3 player in the operator segment, and our values are fast, straightforward, and brave. So we like to try out new things, and customer experience, a superior customer experience is very, very, very important for us. We are serving over 4 million subscribers in our networks, and we are really proud also on the last item on the slide, so that last year we were nominated as the best place to work in Finland in the scale of large companies. So we are really looking to the customer experience and also to the employee experience. When we are talking about payments, so as an operator, we are sending out quite many bills to our customers, and it's more than 20 million invoices that we are delivering each year. And most of the invoices are sent via as electronic, so e-payments, but then also many of them are sent via email. And as said, sometimes the customers are doing things and messing up the payments, and that is then causing unnecessary calls to our customer care, and of course, very, very bad customer experience. It happened to me as well. One day I was buying a conference ticket to a conference like this and actually messed up the payments and paid twice with my credit card. So getting the money back took sometimes. So it can be up to several months, it seems. So customers today expect real-time service, and it seems that now the trend is that the payments are getting faster, but still there's quite many problems. About my domain, so it's dna.fi, so the site where we are serving our customers, and it's around 1 million Finnish people who are coming to our site each month, and many of them are coming back. E-commerce is growing as in all of the areas. So even though we have large number of DNA stores, physical stores, the e-commerce is growing, and of course we try to do our best to make it as easy as possible. Then also e-care, which means that the self-care channel that is using the customer data, so that as operator we have quite significant amount of data of our customers, is very important for us. Now to practical examples, so that today's customers are expecting real-time response from the service, and as you could see, we are sending quite many invoices to our customers each month, and quite often we get a comment that the customer has paid the invoice in banks, and then the information is not yet relayed to us. And then the customer is seeing that in the applications or at the e-care channel that the invoice hasn't been paid. And that's causing frustration to the customer, and then they are calling to us and asking about why is this information not correct. We have taken Paytrail into use, for example, in our prepaid application and in our Oma DNA application. And here is an example from prepaid. The use case is digital, and the customers are topping up their subscription and expecting that the information is there. So you buy new minutes from the application and expect them to be there immediately. If you mess up the top up somehow earlier, we had hundreds of unclear cases monthly. We have around 1 million payments in this application on yearly basis. So huge amount of calls to our customer care, and then the manual handling that we need to do in order to figure out if the payments have been correct. Then also interesting viewpoint is that customers are sometimes missing the payments, and 4,500 calls each month are coming that the customer is calling that my broadband is not working because of unpaid invoice. And when the customer is calling and then they are paying the invoice, if we are expecting the delivery confirmation from the banks, it can take up to 1 day, and the customer is without an internet connection. So it's a quite significant delay for the customer, and also a big problem for the customers. Then when I was preparing for this visit, I was looking at the data, and one interesting thing that I cannot explain at the moment, if you think about the e-payments, so many of us are using the e-invoice, and then the bank is handling the transactions. But for some reason, we can see that in our case, comparing the data from last December to this year December, huge amount of customers are actually coming to our e-care channels to pay the invoices. I cannot imagine why they are doing this, but it's an interesting trend. And also here, it's important that we are able to deliver, show the data to the customers immediately. That they have paid the invoice and that the services are open. Then I also mentioned that the e-commerce, so the main topic of today, so that we have been focusing on e-commerce for 6 years now, so trying to enable the sales of difficult products, because selling subscriptions is not so straightforward. There's a lot of different kind of rules that need to be applied. And the fact is that most of the customers are using mobile devices, and the screen size is small, so it's kind of difficult to show the information in the mobile. We can also see the trend that the conversion rates are lower in the mobile, and the customers are actually abandoning the cards when they are doing the purchases on mobile. And when we look at the data, you can see that almost half of the abandoned cards are happening in the checkout phase. And there are studies that are showing that the conversion optimization, meaning that you are doing all of the possible, easing out the customer experience as much as possible in the checkout phase, can increase the conversion with more than 30%. We can also see numbers, for example, from Boston's study that 16% of Finnish consumers are abandoning the carts because of the payment methods that are available for the customers are not valid for them. So, for example, having the mobile pay in the checkout can increase the conversion. Previous presentation was speaking about the data, and for us it's as important because most of the customers that we are serving in our e-commerce are our existing customers. So that's why we try to have customized customer journeys that are based on the data. So examples like this, so that we are providing direct product recommendations with easy purchase to the customers instead of driving them to our e-commerce site. Now, one interesting viewpoint from Gartner's recent study about the commerce. So I was saying that selling subscriptions is hard, and it's important to notice that even though you would be currently selling physical goods, the trend is showing that the subscription business is growing. It is meaning that you are sending more invoices to your customers, and also that the purchases are going to be a little bit more complicated. So, customer experience will be in the key point when we are talking about subscriptions instead of physical goods. So, basically, for us, the payments are mostly covering about the invoices that we are sending to our customers, and then it's important to have a very, very fluid purchase flow in e-commerce site. Hopefully, utilizing the data as fuel.
Thank you, Tiina.
Thank you.
And if you are interested about the Finnish e-commerce, the data about payments or who buy online, we have on our stand we have the Finnish e-commerce report of 2019. There's a lot of stuff that is really interesting of the Finnish e-commerce. And you can recognize our guys from the Paytrail or DNA pink shoes. And we'll see you on the stand. Thank you.
Thank you.